Hi everyone, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio and welcome back. Today we're going to do another Wednesday grunge play and I'm going to show you how I made some ephemera for my grungy sewing journal that I'm working on. And it's coming along quite nicely. I think I'll have it finished either today or tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. Um, but I've been making a few ephemera, grungy little ephemera pieces, notions, or whatever. So I thought I would turn on the camera and kind of show you what I've been doing and show you how I made them in case you want to make some for yourself. So the first thing I made was a little pen holder, and it just has a Velcro top to it, and you open it up and it has some felt in there, and then it has some stick pins. And so really easy make. I just took some scrapbook paper, and of course you could use whatever you wanted, and I've folded it kind of like a matchbook, and I did score just a little, one tick on the scoreboard to get me just a little spine down on the bottom. And we're going to round these corners here, and I'm using a 1/4 inch round. I'm just rounding the corners off. And then I'm going to ink it up, and I have been inking with my new scorched timber, which I absolutely love the color of. So I'm going to ink this up all the way around, kind of grunge it up, and you could make these as grungy or as not grungy as you wanted. This journal is kind of in between. It does have a lot of vintage papers in it, but it's not too terribly grungy in my eyes. Of course, I like grunge. It may be even too grungy for some of you guys, but that is a matter of preference as to how grungy you make it. Okay, so that's all I did for that. And then I have these little Velcro, non-sew Velcro circles that I have apparently covered up somewhere over here when I was working. There they are. And I'm going to put one of those on the top, and you want to put the fuzzy end on this part, and then you take the prickly end, is what I call it. If I can get one of these off. There we go. The prickly end, and stick it on your fuzzy end. Oops. Stuck to my thumb. And then fold your flap shut and kind of press down on it for a minute, and then it'll stick and you'll have your little Velcro closure. And then I'm going to take some felt that I've already cut to size and just glue down in here. And I just put glue around the edges. I didn't glue anything in the middle. And you could sew this too if you wanted to. If you wanted to sew the felt in, that would work. Actually, I probably should have used Fabri-Tac on that. And just glue it down. You know, felt is a picky beast when it comes to gluing. Okay, and that will need to dry, but then you would just take your little pearl head pins or whatever and just kind of stick down in there. Like that. And you could use it for needles as well. And then it will Velcro shut. And then I just made a little, I stamped the word pins on just some coffee dyed paper and glued it on there. So that's my little pin holder. All right. So the second thing I did is I made this little holder for safety pins. And it's even easier. You just take a piece of scrapbook paper or any kind of stiffer paper and just cut it to the size that you want it and fold the top over. And then cut a piece of lace that's going to fit right up in there like that. So let's ink this one up. Actually, let's make the green side show on this one. Like that. Okay, and then take your little, whatever kind of safety pins that you have. These are just little Tim Holtz safety pins. Don't want to get my top one too high. And then just pin them in there. Kind of evenly spaced apart. And I know some of this may be elementary for some of you that have been journaling for a while, but I do have people that are new and are new to journaling, so I want to cover everything for them as well. Now, I'm using 5, but you, of course, can use whatever number you want. And if you're using full-size safety pins, you know, you wouldn't need near as many. And you would also need to adjust your card width probably a little bit. Make it a little wider. Okay, and then All you want to do after that is just glue down your lace up under the flap. Glue it on there. Make your pins look nice. Some of those I didn't glue or stick in there very straight, but that's okay. We're going for grungy, right? They don't have to be straight. Oops, that one, they need to flip the other way so my flap will close. That one doesn't want to cooperate. And for all of you that are saying, oh my goodness, you put every one of those in backwards, I probably did because I'm left-handed, and so you would probably want the heads of yours the other way, but that's okay. Whatever way you want to put them. And then I took just the tiny attacher and hit it. There it is. And just put a couple staples across the top like that. And then on the one I did, I put washi tape across there just to keep, you know, from getting caught on there. So let's see, it's green on the front. Could use a piece of this floral. Just wrap it over, and that'll cover up the back of your staples if you get it low enough. Try that again. And if you like the staples showing on the front, you could always just put the washi tape on the back. That's a personal preference as well. And I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so there's our little pins, and you can adjust those. You know, I'll probably go back and make those straighter, but you get the idea for the video. So there's that one. All right, third one. For the third one, I made some faux button cards, and these are really cute. I love them, and they're great for putting into journals because they're not as thick. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but they don't have hardly any bulk to them whatsoever. And the way that I made these is, this button card is available as a free download. If you search button card images on the internet, you will find it. I found it really easy, and it's free, so you can download this vintage looking button card. Then what you want to do is you want to cut out circles in whatever size that you want your buttons to be. And you want at least 4 layers. You can make them thicker if you want to, but the purpose is for them not to be as thick as real buttons so that they don't take up as much room. So I did 3 layers plus whatever I wanted to be on the top. Somewhere in my little stack over here, why can't I find them? Because I'm unorganized today. I made some, here they are, that have sheet music on them, and you can see they turned out really cute. And the hole that I punched to make the 4 holes is this little bitty hole punch. It doesn't have a size on it, but I got this on Amazon, and it makes just a little bitty like buttonhole size hole. Okay, and that's what I would recommend. You could do it with your awl, but you're not going to get as smooth of a circle around the edges if you do it with your awl. Okay, so the next step is you're going to take your buttons that you've made, and you can see, I don't know if those are going to show up, how thick they are. And you're going to emboss them with clear embossing powder. You can also use, if you prefer, you can use glossy accents. But I like the clear embossing powder because you don't have to wait for it to dry. And I'm impatient. So I just kind of press them down on my embossing pad to get embossing ink on them. You can use the dauber as well, if you have the Tim Holtz dauber, which I do, but mine's about empty, so it's not working like I want it to. And then you're going to sprinkle them with the clear embossing powder. You also could use Tim Holtz embossing glazes if you wanted to put a little bit of a different color on them. They are translucent, so whatever color that you put on there, for example, if I wanted these, like a little tint of you know, teal or something, I may do like a peacock feathers embossing glaze, and it would still, the music would still show through, is what I'm trying to spit out, not very successfully. So I'm going to get these and knock them off here. Okay, and now I'm going to emboss it, and I'll hold it down to the side so hopefully it won't be too loud. Just checking to make sure I got it all. I think I did. Alright, and now I'm going to do the same thing again because I felt like when I made my others that I got better results from doing it twice. So that's why I left my powder sitting there, because I knew that I would want to do them again. Again, this is totally not necessary. I just think it makes them look more like real buttons to have a little bit of a shine on them. If you want matte buttons, you know, you don't have to do it. You also could possibly use, like if you wanted your buttons to be, to look like metal, you could use Tim Holtz, his metallic cardstock, or anybody else's metallic cardstock, and you might be able to even spray something with microglaze, or not microglaze, but his mica spray stain, which I don't have any of those. Oops, I didn't get all of that one. Oh, come on. Okay. So now we have our buttons made. Let me pour this back in my jar here. Knock my brush off, or my book off into my trash can. And take my little brush here and get this residue off my mat. Okay, so now what we have is 4 buttons that have a shiny surface. I'm going to try to lift them up and hope you can see to more like a button. And what I also like is the heat gun makes them bend slightly, and I like that because I think that gives it more of a button appearance to have that kind of little bend in it. Alright, so now you want to just put them on your cards, and what I found to be the easiest, actually both ways are easy, but I did these 2 different ways. For the bigger buttons, I glued them on the card, and then I took my pokey tool and poked where the holes were and then sewed them on. And then for this one, I just put the thread through just the button and then glued them on and didn't sew through the back. And then this one I did sew through the back, and you can see the strings underneath the coffee dyed paper. So whichever you prefer, they both work good. I just think on the bigger ones, that it's because you have to make the X kind of stitch on them, that it works better to go ahead and put them on the card. So I'm going to put these on. And then I will stitch them off camera because that's just you don't need to see me put thread through a hole. Sorry, I probably was a little low there. Just gluing the buttons on the card. Okay, and then, and I do think if you're going to do the smaller one, that 6 looks better than 4, but you can do however many you want. You could even do bigger ones than this and just do 2, like coat buttons, bigger coat buttons. That would be cute as well. And then just take the pokey tool or your awl or whatever you have. A needle would work fine. You just want to go ahead and poke your holes so that you know where they are when you're sewing through. So you would just poke them all, and then you could sew your X's. Okay, and then you could cover it with tea-dyed paper like I did on these, so you have a nice back surface. Alright, so there's the faux button cards. Alright, the last thing we're going to do isn't really a notion, but it is a journal card that I want to put in my journal. 3 of them, actually. And I want to take, this is by Taylor Made Journals, I believe. Let me look at my sheet of paper. Yes, Taylor Made Journals. And what it is it's a digital that has 4 handwritten notebooks from, like this one's 1843, on how to dye wool. It's very interesting, and I love the handwriting, and like this one has like the actual recipe for what you would use, the colors and everything, which is really cool. And then I have a huge sampler that has been embroidered, and it has the ABCs of flowers on it. So there is a flower name and a flower for every letter of the alphabet, and it has some little few stains on it and stuff. So I thought it would be real cute to put in the sewing journal, and also for a botanical journal, which I'm sure I will make at least one of those this year. Um, so I have cut out 3. I've cut out chicory, dandelion, and Harabelle. And I'm going to make journaling cards, but I want to grunge this up because it's just way too not grungy the way it is right now. So let me move these other things out of the way. I'm going to take my paper distresser first and go around the edges. So I can get a good inkable edge on here. Okay, and then I'm going to use scorched timber around the edges. And this is just printed on regular copy paper, but it has a manila file folder on the back of it to make it a little stiffer. It's not a real stiff manila file folder. It's some that I got, I think, at the Dollar Tree or somewhere. So it's a thinner file folder than, you know, if you were to buy them at Office Depot or something like that. So it does give it some sturdiness, but not too terribly much. All right, now I want to decide. I'm going to bend up some of these edges because if we're talking for something from the 1800s, we're going to have some wrinkles and some creases, I think. It's just my opinion. We might even have a rip or two. It's been shoved in and out of a notebook. And then I'm going to take Vintage Photo and kind of lightly go across this to pick up those wrinkles and creases that I just put in there and give the page a little bit of a yellow look. Okay, that's looking more vintagey. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to put some splatters on here because I can't believe that they would be dyeing wool without making a mess. And since my chicory flowers are blue, I'm going to use archival ink and faded jeans. Stop my glue book there for a minute and make sure I get all the other colors off my stamp. All right, and since we have blue down here, I'm going to stamp this up here. There we go. That looks like a good indigo dye, doesn't it? All right, and then I'm going to put my chicory little fabric thing down here. And I'm wondering, I think I'm going to use double-sided tape and see if that works. Because I really don't want to wet that surface. Where's my scissors? I keep covering everything up. Okay, I need to use my reach. Goodness, my hands are dry. I should have put on some lotion. It's where I wash the glue off them 5,000 times a day. In the cold weather. And today, what is it today? Today it's going to be 50-something degrees, and no, I'm wrong. It's going to be 60 degrees today, and we're in the 50s. 60s today, 60s tomorrow, and mid-50s all next week. After we have been absolutely buried in snow for a week. Craziness. Last week we were seeing temperatures of 0 at night and 9 and temperatures like that. All right, come on. Let loose. There we go. That one didn't want to let go. Last one. All right, now I'm going to put it right down here. I don't want to cover that date up, so I'm going to lift it up just a little bit above that date and stick it on here. There we go. Now, I'm trying to decide if I want this to be a flip out, or I thought I would put it got some like children's writing paper in here. Right here. So I don't know if I want it to flip out. or flip up. And is that paper going to be sturdy enough? To put it here and have it flip up. And put some, I'm not sure where I'm going to put it yet, but I think that's going to be really cute. And I think I will make it a flip up. So it flips up like that, and then depending on where I put it will depend on what I put on the back, whether it just be coffee dye paper. I was thinking that if I put it on this children's writing page that I would use that paper, same paper on the back, but I'm not sure that's going to be sturdy enough to hold that card. So I may have to go with a page like this. Yep, I think that's going to be the best choice. I've got some coffee dyed paper in there too. I could move my paper clip, or I could just put it under the paper clip. Maybe I'll do that. Got 3 of those in there. So I may do that and just back it with some coffee dyed paper so you can take it out and journal in the back. Because I do have 3 of those little paper clip thingies. Alright, so that's it. Like I said, it's coming along. Hopefully either today or tomorrow I'll have it finished. I'm going to finish my journal cards and put my little notions in there, and then I need to make some tags. I have included some original vintage advertising cards in here too for threads and dyes and things like that. So yeah, it's turned into really fun projects. So that's it for today, and I will see you guys back, I guess, tomorrow for I saw it on Pinterest, and I have a pretty good one this week, I think. I'm excited to make it and see how it turns out. So I hope you'll join me for that. Until then, everybody have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.